Hey guys, happy Aloha Friday. Driving home from work right now. It's 5:12. The sun is directly in my face and I can't put my visor down because the phone's up there. So maybe I look extremely lit up right now and with that golden sunlight. I wish my eyes would get healed, or I got LASIK so that I could wear sunglasses. That would be pretty great. Anyway, finishing up work. Had a busy day today. Myself and our hospitality director at church, which is also the greeters. I'm not quite sure why we call it hospitality. To me, that name doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but that's what our church decides to call it. For me, I would think that our hospitality director would be more in charge of like meals and stuff like that. But we call that Oasis. So, I don't know. Just different names for different things. Man, the sun's gnarly. So, so I'm telling a story. Yep, we went and got first aid trained this morning. First aid and CPR and AED. So, I got first aid trained 15, 20 years ago. And CPR trained. It's been that long. And yeah, they didn't have the AED portion, so that was a ton of fun to learn that new skill. Also, the pastor's wife went, who's also in charge of children's ministry. So the three of us went. We had to do an online portion, and I just expected the online portion to be like watching videos from the 80s that were lame, but it was all animated, which I really appreciated. And it was interactive as well. It was kind of like a video game. They gave you scenarios and you had to do things, and it was really repetitive as well. But it was really good. So I learned a lot, and I'm glad that I did that training. And then the hands-on portion was really good this morning as well. Our instructor was a former police officer from Cleveland, Ohio, and so he had actual stories of real-world usage for first aid and CPR. So it was really, really good to hear from him. He had some great one-liners, too. I think something he said was like, love requires sacrifice, and sacrifice always comes at a cost. Or maybe it was sacrifice always comes with loss. And so, this stuff could be really dry, but he did a really good job of telling stories. And he said, you can't hurt a dead person, so if you're performing CPR on someone, they're already dead, and they can't get any deader than they already are. So, while he was talking about that, it just led me to a statement that I tweeted earlier, which is, unbelief leads to inaction. If you don't believe that you can save someone, and you're kind of scared about it, and you don't think that they're going to come back, then you're not going to do anything. But if you believe that your life-saving skill could possibly bring them back, then you're going to launch into action because you're compelled by love and compassion for this person, that there's maybe a chance that they could come back through you performing CPR. So I thought that was really good. But yeah, unbelief leads to inaction. I think that's interesting to think about and really unpack. Where do I have areas of unbelief in my own life, and that's causing me not to act on things? And then how do you flip that? If I truly believe in things and have a hopeful outlook for the future, that there may even be a percentage that we're going to have a good outcome, then it's going to lead me to action, and that's going to be a really good thing. Another thing that I was thinking about today while I was thinking is just inaction isn't even an option. Inaction is not an option. So, yeah, I'm glad that I got first aid, CPR, and AED certified, and I'm glad that people from my church want to do that. We're talking about building up a safety team and just running through some scenarios as well, just so that we are better prepared if something happens, a medical emergency happens, an active killer comes through. We're in a pretty public place. We're in a public park, and so there's a lot of other events going on around us. Are we prepared for anything that could happen? Maybe we're right there, and we're one of the people that are going to be first responding to a sporting event accident or something like that. Is our church just prepared to handle that kind of stuff? So yeah, I'm really glad we're thinking about that. So yeah, I feel like I had more to say, but I don't think I do. So yeah, first aid, CPR, and AED training. I highly recommend it. I reviewed the Stop the Bleed course. Ooh, traffic is at a complete standstill, and it's never been backed up this far, so I might have a long journey home today. But yeah, Stop the Bleed is a free course. First aid, CPR, and AED do require some money, but the online portion is awesome, and then the hands-on, we had a really good instructor. So I can't guarantee that you'll have a good instructor, but hopefully they have good instructors as well. I also do not think that one of the organizations that I work with has an AED. So that's something that I'd like to look into. It just seems like that's a pretty important tool to have. So there it is. Hello, Mother. Thanks for saying hello. I'm excited to have a good weekend. Gonna kick it off when I get home with starting our Sabbath, which is our Friday routine. Say some prayers, get thankful, and disconnect from the internet for 24 hours. And yeah, I was trying to order Indian food because I love Indian food, and Sabbath is about celebrating and eating good food. But the place that I usually order from says that their mailbox is full, so I don't even know why they're not answering their phone. I don't know if they're just on hold or if the whole entire restaurant closed. So I might try calling back again later. But now I'm just rambling, so have a good one. Go get first aid, CPR, and AED trained. Also did the infant portion and the child portion as well. 30 and 2 is what we're at now. I think it was like 15 and 2 when I got trained. I'm talking about compressions and breaths. The instructor also just said if it's wet and it's not yours, don't touch it. So he just said maybe don't do rescue breaths if you don't have a mask, a barrier mask, so that you're not getting someone else's puke in your mouth or something like that. So that's a reality. But it was good. It was good also just as a dad to learn about infant and child CPR and choking. That was part of it too. Just to learn all of those techniques. Have you guys ever been anywhere where you've seen anyone choking and had to have the Heimlich? I was at a Thanksgiving dinner one time in Hawaii, and a guy was eating bread really fast and ended up choking, and another guy was like, "Are you choking?" And he was just like, "Yep." And so they walked outside, did 2 pumps of the Heimlich, it shot out of his mouth, they high-fived and sat back down and kept eating. So it works. It works. So yeah, I've said it a bunch already in this video, but I highly recommend that training just so that you can be prepared. It's not hard, it's just good to get that training because you might need to save a loved one someday or help someone else that's in need. So highly recommend the Red Cross First Aid, CPR, and AED training for adult, child, and infant. All right, enough rambling. Have a great weekend.